This video is brought to you by Ridge Wallet, a slim front pocket wallet available in carbon fiber and titanium. With more than 250,000 sold, a lifetime guarantee and free shipping, get 10% off with the code GOLDFISH at ridgewallet.com. Hello everyone, it's Seth, probably better known as Saffron Olive, and it's time for another Instant Deck Tech. So watch out, Tuesday is normally Type 2 or Standard Tuesday, but this week I honestly couldn't find a standard deck, something new and fresh and cool that I wanted to talk about. So we're talking about a Pauper deck today instead. Don't worry, we do have a viewer-submitted standard deck coming up for Fishbowl Thursday, so we still will have a standard deck tech this week, just changing the order around a little bit. And today's deck, I just had to feature, because it features one of the memeiest cards in Magic at the moment, which is Colossal Dreadmaw. This is Dreadmaw Stompy for Pauper, and it comes to us from X-File, who took it to a top 32 finish in a recent Pauper challenge. So congrats to X-File on a really hilarious deck. A quick reminder before we break down Dreadmaw Stompy for Pauper. If you enjoy this deck, and you want to see it made into videos, take a minute, click the like button, the subscribe button, leave a comment, anything you can do to support your deck, because whichever deck is most popular gets a shot at being made into videos next week. So let's talk some Dreadmaw Stompy, starting with Colossal Dreadmaw itself, a card that is kind of a meme at this point because it seems like it shows up in basically every set these days, and it's pretty simple. You get a 6/6 trample for 6 mana, and it's kind of perfectly on theme with this deck. The idea of this deck is basically to ramp in the early game and then just slam really big, often trampling threats as quickly as possible and hope that those big trampling threats are enough to actually win the game. There's no tricks, there's no frills, there's no combos. We're just slamming big Timmy creatures and trying to beat our opponent down. So Colossal Dreadmaw is kind of the hallmark card of the deck, but we also get a bunch of other options. Tangle Golem, basically a 5/4 for roughly 4 mana in this deck. In the late game, it could be even less mana because it has affinity for forests. It costs 1 less for each forest that we have, but most of the time, we're going to be playing this for 4 mana plus having 3 forests on the battlefield. Thundering Tantodon is basically a 5/4 trample for 4 mana plus 4 life. We can pay more, pay full price for it if we have to, but we're probably going to be casting it early with Phyrexian mana. And then Blastoderm is a really unique creature. It's a 5/5 Shroud for 4 mana, which is pretty powerful. The problem is it has fading, so it's going to kill itself after 3 turns as the fade counters are removed. So we can get in a couple of attacks with it, and then it's going to die, but hopefully we get in a bunch of damage along the way. So these are kind of our big payoffs. We also have Phantom Tiger, which is kind of a weird creature. It's a 3/2 for 3 when you consider the +1/+1 counters on it, but whenever damage is dealt to it, you prevent that damage and remove a counter. So basically you can attack for free with it once, block for free with it once, the counter gets removed, it gets smaller, kind of like the original Persist almost. It's very similar to that in how it plays out. So Phantom Tiger just hopefully comes down on turn 2 with our Rampsters, beating our opponent down. As far as our ramp, we have a bunch of options. Wild Growth Utopia Sprawl give us 1 mana land enchanting enchantments that make an extra mana. Combine those with Arbor Elf, and we can be playing things like Thundering Tantodon on turn 2, and maybe even our Colossal Dreadmaw on turn 3, and just smashing our opponent's face with these massive green creatures. And then Wall of Roots adds a bit of mana, also gives us a good blocker in the early game. Outside of our creatures, we got a couple of spells that care about creatures. Rancor gives us some repeatable pumping, also gives our creatures trample, which is nice. Some of our creatures already have it, but if we can throw this on some of our big creatures, it's going to be really hard for our opponent to block. Pauper is a format where a lot of decks are relying on a bunch of small creatures rather than one big creature. So having one massive trampler is really difficult for a lot of decks to deal with, and then Vines of Vastwood just gives us a way to fizzle a targeted removal spell by giving our creature hexproof until end of turn, and it can even be a really good pump spell as well. As far as the mana base, 18 forests, about as pure and simple as can be. In the sideboard, also pure and simple and straightforward. We only have 4 different cards in the sideboard, almost all 4 ofs. Golgari Brownscale, Nylea's Disciple come in against aggro, gains us bunches of life. This deck does not want to lose to Bird or other aggro decks. Dissenter's Deliverance comes in against like Affinity to deal with artifacts, and then Scattershot Archer is our answer to small fire decks like Delvers with Spell Center Sprites and Fairy Miscreants and all that kind of stuff. And that is Dreadmaw Stompy for Pauper. And that's our It's a Deck Tech for today. So thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video, and I will talk to you soon. Thanks for watching the video. If you enjoyed it, help us out by clicking that like button down below. And to keep up on all the latest and greatest, click that subscribe button. And don't forget to hit that bell icon to get alerts whenever we have new videos. And if you want to, check out some of our other sweet videos here and here.